has come to our family. You remember our venerable house? Opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its stoic perch above the moor. I lived all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed manor, fattened by decadence and luxury. And yet I began to tire of conventional extravagance. Singular, unsettling tales suggested the mansion itself was a gateway to some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I bent every effort towards the excavation and recovery of those long-buried secrets, exhausting what remained of our family fortune on swarthy workmen and sturdy shovels. At last, in the salt-soaked crags beneath the lowest foundations, we unearthed that damnable portal of antediluvian evil. Our every step unsettled the ancient earth. But we were in a realm of death and madness. In the end, I alone fled laughing and wailing through those blackened arcades of antiquity, until consciousness failed me. You remember our venerable house, opulent and imperial. It is a festering abomination. I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
You will arrive along the old road. It winds with a troubling, serpent-like suggestion through the corrupted countryside, leading only, I fear, to ever more tenebrous places. There is a sickness in the ancient, pitted cobbles of the old road, and on its writhing path, you will face viciousness, violence, and perhaps other damnably transcendent terrors. So steel yourself, and remember there can be no bravery without madness. The old road will take you to hell, but in that gaping abyss, we will find our redemption.
So this is Darkest Dungeon, as you may have inferred from the opening sequence. A game I bought many moons...
Oh. These lanes. Keep to the side path. The hamlet is just ahead.
A game I bought many moons ago when it first came out in early access. Still in early access.
Dispatch this thug in brutal fashion, that all may hear of your arrival.
But now, much more updated in early access. I'm trying not to speak over the narrator. You probably heard about it at the time it came out, because it was everywhere for a while, so I'm late to the party here, but, you know. So it's like, it's...
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them.
I'm trying not to speak over this guy with the really nice voice. But it's a rogue-like-esque game. Like, this is the tutorial, which is always the same, but... It's a roguelike game where...
Nothing unchecked. There is much to be found in forgotten places.
Hold on. Are there subtitles? That's the question. Nope, okay. Never mind, okay. So it's a roguelike game, where we are in charge of an estate and a band of mercenary-type people, and we're trying to rebuild the estate, which has been brought to ruin because our uncle was a madman, basically. So, and it's a pretty brutal game. Very unfair, you might say.
An ambush. Send these vermin a message. The rightful owner has returned, and their kind is no longer welcome.
Like, it is entirely possible. I've seen several people die on the tutorial. Even though this is the tutorial, you can easily die. You can die here if you're just unlucky. So, it's got this turn-based thing going, right? I'll just explain briefly since I'm skipping over all the text boxes, but right now we don't have a full party. Normally we would have 4 people, and it's based on sort of like a positional thing. Because some moves, if you look, you'll see the little, like, dots above the abilities. Those are, like, the positions the abilities can be used in. The white ones are where the person needs to be in our line to attack, and where he can... the red is where he can attack in the enemy position, so that's an important part of the game. And enemies that shuffle you around, or using your abilities that shuffle them around, kind of fucks with everything, basically. Because the best laid plans of mice and men and all that. And there are a bunch of different classes, like right now we only have a Crusader and a Highwayman, because that's just what the game starts us with, but there are many other classes, like Plague Doctor, Vestial. I think they added Houndmaster and Man-at-Arms, but I bought this game like 8 months ago and played it for maybe 3 hours before today, so I'm not an expert, as you might pick up on from that, but, you know, we'll have a good time. We'll have a good time exploring the Darkest Dungeon. Except we won't, because the Darkest Dungeon is an area in the game, it just hasn't been added yet.
Perhaps the turning point.
Also, another big thing, you might notice there's a second bar under the health bar. That's the stress bar. And usually your party members die not because they got killed, but because they went mad. We've completed the quest, but first, is this still always trapped? It's still always trapped. But it's alright, we've completed the quest, we can leave, because this is just a tutorial area, there's nowhere else to go. So, and that's all the explanation the game gives you. And at the end, you unlock some quirks, and he got Bloodthirsty, Fascinated with Injury, Wounds, and Torture. But he's got +4 speed on the first round, +5 accuracy for Disma. That's very good, actually, because, you know, it's not much good having a gun if you can't hit anybody.
Welcome home, such as it is. This squalid hamlet, these corrupted lands, they are yours now, and you are bound to them.
So I thought he was going to speak for longer there. So these are all the things we have to do in life. We've got to defeat the Wizened Hag, the Apprentice Necromancer. Yes or no? Shut up. The Siren, the Swine Prince, the Brigand 8-Pounder, the Sodden Crow, all these things. The Regular Hag, the Alluring Siren. So many things. We have roster goals, which seems to just be get one of everybody to level 6. Easy game, easy game. Alright, but now... Yeah. Okay. Now, so, there's also, like... I don't want to say management, but it's a management-esque thing, because we have the hamlet as well, the estate, the Happy Fun Club estate, as I've named it. We can't do basically anything here yet, because we haven't done enough quests, but... like, we have the tavern and the abbey, those get used to, like, lower stress for heroes, or characters, not heroes, whatever. Sanitarium to remove quirks and diseases, and then Guild and Blacksmith to upgrade things, and over here, the Stagecoach to recruit more people.
Soldiers and outlaws, fools and corpses, all will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
We also have to upgrade things, which we use various heirlooms to do. Because we have gold, which is used for pretty much everything, but if we want to upgrade anything, we need relics like busts, portraits, deeds, and crests. Which, you know, is apparently good.
Foolishly seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
So I'm upgrading this so that we have more people coming, because every time we go to a dungeon, we come back, there'll be more people. And, you know, people die easy.
Battlefield.
We can also name people, and, you know, that's what we're gonna do, right? I don't want to dismiss him. Now, I'm a fan of paladins and crusaders, so I will be assuming Reynald's body and soul for my own. And Disma... Should we rename other people? Yeah, go on. Who does Disma that remind me of? Yeah, sort of an Isaac look about him. Not the Binding of Isaac, like an Isaac Clarke look about him. Look, doesn't he just look sort of exhausted and tired, you know? And, hold on. Vanity is, like, the most important part of the game. Plague Doctor. Plague Doctors are actually female in this game. I know it's hard to tell looking at the Plague Doctor, so this is Jen. And Vestal. You can be. Who can you be? The Vestal can be... Nilin. There we go. Perfect. Alright. So, we can't do anything here. We can go to graveyard. No one's dead, but,
covered
you know.
in the poisoned earth, awaiting merciful oblivion. In
The Ancestors'
time,
Memoirs.
You will know the tragic extent of my failings.
But we have beaten no one, so we don't get to see any of his memoirs except for the prologues. Enough just like bumming around the hamlet.
Of madness and morbidity. Your work begins.
So, as of this point in time, there are 4 places we can go, because the Darkest Dungeon has not been added to the game yet, but we can go to the Ruins, Warren's Weld, and Cove, but right now we can only go to the Ruins. And so we've only got 4 people. The usual excellent name. And then, before we go out...
Measured now in gold, later in blood.
Before we go out, we also get to buy various things that we will use on our... We don't get any of this stuff back, by the way. Once we use all this stuff, it's gone forever. But they do various things. We use shovel... We probably don't need 2 shovels, in hindsight. But we use them to interact with various things in the dungeons. And the torches we use for light, because that's another mechanic that the tutorial doesn't actually, like, mention at all.
Must be driven back. And what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
Because up here, we have the torch. And the torches we use to keep the torch going. Basically, as the light gets lower... The enemies, we have lower accuracy and the enemies hit harder, but we get more loot and can crit more, so there's like a trade-off to be done there. And we can also use items to interact with things, but I don't know what all of the interactions are between the things. I know, like, there's some stuff in, like, the Warrens, there's, like, evil scroll, also there's traps. I don't know if you picked up on that, but there are traps. But I know there's, like, scrolls in the Warrens that are, like, evil scrolls, and you burn them, and the hero that did it is happy about that. Things like that. But, right now, we're doing a skirmish mission. There are a few different types of missions, but all we've got to do now is go to every room and fight well, we don't have to go to every room. We have to go to every room that has enemies in it, and then fight all the enemies. Also, let's not be walking around in the dark. Look, I am a scared man. I don't want to walk around a dark dungeon, you know? Because look, there's Skelemen here. We've surprised the Skelemen. Now, as I said, I'm not an expert on this game, but you see these assholes back here? These assholes that are drinking their wine somehow, even though they're skeletons? Those are the ones that we gotta kill first, because these assholes at the back, and a few other assholes in the game, like to inflict stress damage on people, which is the second bar down here. And once your stress maxes out, that's bad times are probably gonna happen to you. So we want to avoid that at all costs. So what's our Bastille got? Alright, so we're gonna go before all of them because we surprised them, surprisingly. And I'm sorry, I'm like reading all the abilities because I don't remember what they all are. I see our Plague Doctor has almost no combat attacks, but whatever. There's status ailments, like we can blight these skeletons rather. Disma Isaac now has a bleed ability, but skeletons, as you might imagine, are completely immune to bleed, so don't bother. But they can be blighted, and now these two men are gonna die before they even get to do anything.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, corpses. Okay.
Death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
That must have felt pretty bad for those guys. I do remember okay. I remember hearing about this. This was not in the game originally, these corpses, when I first bought it. But yeah, when enemies die, they leave a corpse behind, and it, like, occupies a space, so that it's harder to, like, hit people, basically. Plus 25 damage. Oh, damn, that's a good buff. Disorientating buff. Can't do anything. I guess just buff me. That is a damn fine buff. I was not aware that Plague Doctors got such a boss buff.
Press disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
And I know, he couldn't blink. Ah, okay. So, an ornate sarcophagus. It's locked, but this is why we brought skeleton keys. And this is stun skill chance +2, but -2 dodge. So, also, we got, like, this equipment down here, which we upgraded the blacksmith. Don't worry about that. But we have trinket slots as well. This is a trinket. As of now, I believe I'm the only one who has a stun skill, so I might as well take the stun skill chance up. And, like, I'm wearing heavy armor. I'm not likely to be dodging anybody anytime soon, you know? You know? So, oh, books. Can I burn the books? Oh, no! Oh, God! Well, alright.
A moment of clarity in the eye of the storm.
I guess the moral of the story is don't do in the ruins what you do in the Warren, because I was like, oh yeah, I was just talking about how you burn evil parchments in the Warren. Yeah, I might as well try these books, because I remember the books always being kind of dicks to me, but nope, just accidentally instantly maxed my stress, but fortunately didn't go insane. So that's what happens when your stress maxes out, by the way. It basically, like, flips a coin, and I rolled well, so I got to be focused, which it doesn't say anywhere now, but I'm focused. I could have... There are, like, a few things, like courageous, resolve, things like that. But it could have also been like, and now you've become paranoid, abusive, masochistic, something like that, and that's terrible. And then basically, you don't get to do anything for a while, because then you gotta go and, like, get super de-stressed back at the Hamlet. Fortunately, that didn't happen. Good job myself, bailing myself out of looking like a fool right there. I did not bring enough torches, but whatever, it's fine, it's fine. That happens as well. That's why it's important to bring a lot of food, because sometimes, like... And now your party's hungry, and if you don't have one piece of food for everybody, sometimes more, they take a lot of damage, stress damage.
On preventing passage.
Also, this rubble. This is why you bring shovels, because if you don't have a shovel for that, it's like, yeah, you moved it by hand, and your men weren't too happy about that. I'm not gonna do it. I know if you use a torch on that, you can get your torch, like, filled up completely, but I don't have any more torches, because I did not bring enough with me, and then went and burned some books. Locked? But we brought a skeleton key. Oh. Does this guy still start? Yeah, still kleptomaniac. Okay. So... it says, the sacrifice of fire is the gate to ruin. Place a torch if you crave the void. I don't know what this is. This was not in the game when I played it like 8 months ago. Well, YOLO, right? Well, I mean, I assume I was supposed to hold a torch up to it, but I don't know what it was gonna do. That's actually pretty surprising, because when it's dark, we're more likely to get surprised than the enemy, but we didn't. Yeah, just... light that fella. This also doesn't count towards this, by the way, because... I should have explained this. What we're doing is basically just, like, moving between rooms. And we're fighting in the hallway right now, so this does not count towards 100% of room battles. It's not in a room. I'm a big fan of Zealous Accusation, because it's kind of like... it honestly just makes me think that the Crusader is showing the enemies that their shopping list, and is like, look at all the things I have to pick up, cower before it. Also, for a man who committed suicide, our uncle sure is talkative, isn't he? This lady back here, remember the skeleton who were somehow drinking wine? She does the same thing. We don't want her to do that, so she is the one that we want to kill first. Which is... also, not a skeleton, so we can make these fellas bleed. Oh god, crap. Didn't get shifted back, though, which is good. Because these are, like, the first enemies that really do any, like, shifting around. Can you kill her? Good job. Oh. Shot Jen. Jen's fine. Good job, Isaac. Okay. And... these guys unholy? Yeah, they're unholy, because, being a Crusader, we are at a natural advantage against unholy monsters. I like that the corpse took damage from being poisoned. I wouldn't think a corpse would care particularly that it was poisoned. But, I mean, what do I know about being a skeleton, I suppose? Oh. He took 6 damage from that blight. That's pretty sad. Whoa! Calm down, Nilin. Gonna stab me. Don't bleed. Oh, never mind. But alright, we have bandages. I dubbed thee Soldier of the Light. Oh, whoa, okay. Yeah, I know I'm bleeding. Oh. I gave Isaac a buff. How nice of me. Okay, bandage. And stun this man. I was gonna be pretty upset if that didn't work, since I gave myself that trinket for that express purpose. Can't hit him at all from there, eh? Dismas hasn't gone yet? No. Buff Dismas, then. No, I'm still calling him Dismas. Disma. But that is not what he is anymore. He is now Isaac. Mind you, I don't think Isaac Clarke would have been a highwayman in life, but... I mean, if you aren't a space engineer, I suppose you probably would be more likely to fall upon hard times. I have a torch now! But I already tried to use the thing, so it's gone. This is not locked, but it was trapped. Alright, so now we can leave, but we have not checked out one room, and, well, we know there's not going to be a battle in that room, so we might as well go see if there's anything in it. Or, like, on the way. Because if there's no battle in a room, there's usually nothing in the room of value, either. Let's give it a go. That item had no effect. Bandages. That item had no effect. Medicine. Oh! Oh, well, goodness me! Fucking figured out how to turn copper into gold over here.
Found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
Well, after I interacted with that thing and not having a torch, I suddenly found a lot of torches. Mind you, it also looked kind of sinister, so maybe I didn't want to use a torch on it at the same time. Grave Nibble. I kind of like the maggots, honestly, just because their only attack is Grave Nibble. You gonna die before you get to do anything? Hopefully.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
Thank you. Don't know what spiders were doing with deeds to land, but, you know. And, yep, nothing. Alright, let's go back to the hamlet.
More bones return to rest.
What is
Devils
this?
remanded to their abyss.
Occultist on. I was like, damn, I should put that on myself, maybe, or Disma. Occultist only, so. Let's see what we got. Come on, good traits. Nymphomania. The thing is that Renaud, when he joins you, can only go to heal himself in the Abbey, and the Abbey isn't a brothel, so... Manic for money. Light resist. Oh, that's good. Anemic. Oh, that's not very good. Damage in the Warrens. Minus 100% food consumed if stress above 50. Okay.
Let me share with you the terrible wonders I have come to know.
Become severe. Severe negative quirks cost more money to remove. Okay. That's also new. Nothing happening over there. The Abbey and Tavern are unlocked. So
the
now
have been dusted, the pews set straight. The Abbey calls to the faithful.
So this is like the Abbey and the Tavern down here
Fresh
are where
cakes,
you
cards and curtained rooms promise solace to the weary and broken alike.
So this is where you slap people to relieve their stress. You got 3 slots, each of them is a different thing. This man is... The caretaker occasionally takes up one spot and you can't do anything about it either. And they are all slightly different. I believe typically the bottom one is the best one you can put someone in, and the top is the worst. Because, like, random things can happen, which can be good or bad. Like, I know something that can happen in the tavern is if they're drinking, they can lose a trinket they have equipped, which is pretty terrible. Oh, Houndmaster, you are... This is a new one on me, so forgive me as I read his abilities really quick. Hound's Rush, Bleed... Oh wow, he can attack any enemy team from... any enemy member from pretty much anywhere. Hound's Harry... Oh. So this will hit everybody and has a chance to make them bleed, okay. Mark target, reduces their protection, lowers defense, good, good. Oh, a stress heal. That's pretty good. Guard dog, target, guard ally, self, plus 15 dot. This is, well, so he can guard someone, like, with his body. But the Crusaders do not have an ability that does that, so that's interesting to me. I mean, I guess guard dog doesn't make sense. Lick wounds, blackjack. Well, it's got a high stun chance, damn. Well, I'm gonna recruit you real quick. So, because you're new to me.
Faithful beast, a bond forged by battle and bloodshed.
Bounty hunters are really good because they can pull people to you, you see, with come hither. So, those skelemen at the back, just yank them over with the chain. I am a fan of the bounty hunters because they do a lot of damage.
The thrill of the hunt. The promise of payment.
Now, lepers, counterintuitively, are a tank. You would not assume, right, that someone with leprosy would be all that tanky, but that's what they are, so I will recruit you as well. So now, we almost have enough for 2 separate teams.
And existence are one and the same.
Okay, sadly we didn't get any occultists for this occultist trinket we got. Okay. But, so, that's like the introduction to Darkest Dungeon. Because now we've basically gone through the whole, like, tutorial, prologue, whatever you want to say. The first dungeon, so... this seems like a good place to stop for now. So, yeah, Darkest Dungeon. I hope, you know, you find the game interesting. I find the game very interesting. Love it aesthetically as well, right? Isn't the art style just so unique and interesting? But anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you will continue to watch. And, yeah, so until next time, take care.